So I put up a video last week being like, what do you want? Literally, this one right over here. Because I wanted to know what you guys wanted me to do. What should I focus on as far as content goes? Because there's a lot of stuff I could do. And so I put together like a little form, we just had a bunch of different questions, and here we are today looking at the 5,190 responses, which is quite frankly a lot more than I thought you guys would be bothered to give. Maybe I just don't think very highly of you, and for that I apologize, but thank you very much for taking the time to leave some feedback. And of course I thought it would be only fair for me to share that with you as well, so that you can see what you want. So this is what you want. Okay, so for this first question, what type of content do you want to see from me in 2025? You can select multiple. So as this implies, you can in fact pick more than one option here. You can pick all of them if you want. So general C++ videos, you can see one with 72% of people picking that. I assume this percentage just means that how many people picked that at all, because obviously these percentages do not add up to 100. So general C++ videos is still the #1 most desired topic that you guys want me to produce in 2025. Now, the tricky thing with this is that everything I make is basically C++ related, whether it be a code review, an actual C++ series video, like OpenGL or Vulkan related graphics video, or Hazel. That's all covering C++. But the general C++ videos, what I was referring to was specifically videos that don't relate to a specific project, but rather give general C++ education that can be applied to anything you might be working on in C++. Whatever kind of C++ programmer you are, that's what that video applies to. So yeah, this was kind of what I expected to win, I think. Then #2, we have graphics rendering videos, which I didn't personally think this would be that high. I didn't really go into depth as to what this meant, because on one hand, it could be like an actual Vulkan series or something that teaches how to use a graphics API, but it could also be something like that Bloom video that I put up years ago that doesn't actually talk about any specific graphics API, but obviously it's graphics related. I am currently working on rebuilding Hazel's renderer again and making it very different to what it was in the past. So that could potentially drive quite a lot of content in that area. But for those of you who voted for this specifically, I mean, I have some general feedback down below as well, but what kind of graphics or rendering videos did you want to see specifically? Let me know. Deep educational series like the new Cube series. So the new Cube series, for those of you who don't know, is this series that I have where I'm like making a C++ 3D ray tracing whatever game from scratch. I'm trying to put one episode for that series every month, so there's 2 so far. It's these super long videos that you may have noticed on my channel. So it's good to know that 61% of people want to see that more because, well, I'm doing it. It's interesting that code reviews didn't do that well because they do the best on the channel in terms of views. So maybe it's just not something my core audience wants as much, but it is the most successful series on the channel, so. And then there's, yeah, like some other stuff, like random fun videos. Apparently no one wants any fun videos, so I'll try and make my videos as boring as possible. Okay, but if you had to pick one, what would it be? So interestingly, the highest percentage here is graphics rendering videos. And then we've got basically a close tie between general C++ and deep educational series. By the way, I want to quickly point out that someone mentioned in my comments over here that I think it could be better to limit the responses to 1 for each account to make it slightly harder to spam. So I saw this comment was left like within an hour of me posting this, I think, and I immediately changed the form to be only 1 response per Google account. So you actually have to sign in to leave a response in this form, because I realized that if people just start spamming this or whatever, then all this data is going to be useless. So hopefully that helps. So yeah, you can see it's mostly like these 3. It's just like deep educational series, general C++ videos, and graphics rendering videos is apparently the single specific topic that people want to see the most. But again, it's only 28% of people who really want that. So you can see it is quite divided. And then this one over here is code reviews. What is your favorite regular series currently on the channel? What are you most likely to watch when it comes out? You can select multiple. So C++, 76%. Pretty much everyone. Code review, 38%, even though it does the best. And then Hazel, 28%. So again, showing that most people who at least are serious enough viewers to respond to this form want to see C++ videos. How do you feel about video series? So this was important to me because I don't think video series, like actual series, like the Game Engine series, do that well on YouTube. It's generally, from a creator's point of view, a better idea to just make a good, marketable, like one-off video that will appeal to like a wide audience. I personally don't mind making video series. I think it's cool to see an actual project come together like we are with that Cubed series. But of course you have to have a balance. So most people like both. Most people don't have a problem with it. And most people like video series as well. And one-off videos, 6% of people like specifically one-off videos. So of course, if you aggregate that with the both section, then it becomes a bit more potentially. But out of these two, it's just interesting that video series does so well here But I think this also speaks to the fact that the people responding to this are like the core audience, maybe, which are the dedicated fans. So it's probably not a good indication of the wider YouTube audience of my videos, but it is what it is. What video length is best for you? Okay, so this I just put here kind of for fun. It doesn't matter. It was what I expected to win, so that's good. 10 to 20 minutes doing better than 20 to 30 minutes. I didn't expect. I thought more people liked the 20 to 30 minute videos. Code reviews I tend to aim in that territory for things like code reviews. I think a lot of the C++ videos end up being 10 to 20 minutes though, just because they're actually like structured educational videos that like become a little bit too overloaded if it's just got that much information in it to push it above that 20-minute mark. But yeah, this is interesting. And yeah, it's good to know that you guys don't have particularly short attention spans as well. And to the 9.9% of you who want a 30+ minute videos, well, I hope you're enjoying that Cube series. Okay, and then finally, I decided to leave this general feedback requests section over here, which I definitely did not expect 2,000 people to write stuff here. I am going to try my best to like read all of these because I definitely haven't. But in the meantime, I thought I would get AI to summarize this. So ChatGPT here coming in clutch. Basically, I just got all of the responses like from the actual Google sheet and then just gave ChatGPT like a CSV of all of them and asked it to analyze it a little bit so that we could kind of digest those like 2,000+ responses. So the general overview is positive reception. Many viewers appreciate the content and style of the videos, frequently mentioning that they enjoy deep dives into programming topics. So yeah, deeper things. I get that lots of people want to see that, but as you'll see later, there's also a bit of a juxtaposition with beginner-friendly content as well. So I guess I just have to do both. So requests for more content. Common requests include tutorials on advanced topics, particularly in C++, Vulkan, and multi-threading. Yeah, I was interested to see multi-threading specifically come up so much. I guess I haven't done too much at all in that area. So that's definitely something that I wasn't thinking about that I now am. And then there's, yeah, the newcomer-friendly content. So several responses indicate a desire for beginner-friendly tutorials, especially for those who are new to C++ or game development. So I guess there needs to be like a balance of those. Detailed explanation. So viewers praise videos that explain complex topics clearly and would like more videos that thoroughly break down difficult programming topics. And then the recurring themes of these responses were advanced programming topics, like multi-threading, optimization, and GPU programming. And then deep dives into Vulkan and GPU inner workings appear multiple times. So this is good because that Cube series that I'm doing, the making a C++ game from scratch kind of thing, the latest episode of that is literally all kind of about Vulkan. Like we go from rendering a triangle to rendering a cube using Vulkan, and I even explain like how Vulkan generally works. But then the plan with that series is once we have like a good rasterized renderer set up, we're going to move on to ray tracing as well using the GPU, using Vulkan. So that honestly, I think is really, really useful content if you're interested in these things, because even though it might not appear like it, because it's not like a Vulkan series, like step one, like installing Vulkan or whatever else, it's actually using Vulkan, putting it into practice to build like a real thing whilst also teaching it. So if you're interested in Vulkan and GPU programming, then definitely check out that long form series. Okay, C++ content, continuation of existing C++ series, and requests for both beginner and advanced C++ tutorials. It's interesting, like, so when people request beginner C++ tutorials, like I obviously have a C++ series on this channel. Now, is it good? Well, I started it about 8 years ago, and obviously my experience with C++ and my teaching style and how I would even approach teaching C++ has changed in those 8 years. But then I also don't want to like remake the C++ series entirely on this channel. So what I would ideally like to do for this like problem of beginner C++ content is probably make some kind of course that's maybe on my own platform, not on YouTube. And then that would be like the kind of more serious formal way to learn C++ like from me, rather than like YouTube videos, which are a completely different like format. And the problem is making something like this, especially to like the degree of quality that I would want it to be, requires a lot of time. And I feel like I barely have time like to do just normal YouTube stuff and work on Hazel. So I don't know where I'm gonna find the time to do that, especially with like 2 young children. But that ideally is something I want to do, just because I feel like I could do a really good job at making a super, super high quality like C++ course, especially like taking stuff from like Hazel and especially approaching it from like a game engine engineering kind of mindset and, you know, kind of treating it almost like a university course with like homework and exercises and projects. I think that would be really fun. But yeah, Alas, time is the enemy. Okay, game development. Many viewers are interested in game engine development and topics related to graphics rendering. Yeah, I mean, maybe honestly I should make more Hazel related topics as well, because I haven't really made Hazel videos in a while. A lot of these topics could be covered from the point of view of Hazel as well. Discussions around frameworks, real-time rendering, and networking are sought after. So community engagement, number 4, suggestions for Q&A sessions, live streams, and behind the scenes content. So I've been thinking about this, and one of the ways that I want to start doing a little bit more community engagement is obviously by making videos like this, where I actually talk to you guys and I don't just like throw content in your face. But also I'm trying out this new thing where I basically enable people to become members of this YouTube channel. I think it's like $3 a month. And then that gives you access to my exclusive shorts. So my plan is just to make like just these like YouTube shorts that I can just like make on my phone, and they're really not like produced content or anything, but then that can answer questions, so we can do like those Q&A sessions, and also behind the scenes content, like I can just be like, hey, I'm working on this today, like what do you think? So no guarantees as to how that goes, because I haven't really done it yet, but if you're interested in that, and of course you want to help support the channel, then that's a possible way to do that. All right, international support, so positive comments from international audiences, including languages like Russian and Ukrainian. Cool. Спасибо, дякую. Viewers appreciate subtitles or content localization efforts. Yeah, that's not something I really do, but hopefully AI can just do that for me with the auto-generated like transcriptions that can then also be translated. And then technical detail. Viewers want detailed walkthroughs that explore how and why certain programming methods work rather than just code samples. So yeah, that's actually another thing that I did have on the table for this year, just taking a look at specific data structures or architecture, like decisions and like case studies as to how and why that might work in certain situations. Because obviously I've been mentioning a lot of like, I would do this or I would do that in my code review series, but I'm not actually showing how to do that. Okay, so thank you everyone, first of all, for responding to that form. Very, very helpful. I definitely appreciate your feedback a lot, and I also appreciate you watching my videos in the first place. I'm gonna try my best this year to be a little bit more organized when it comes to all of this. I actually kind of wanna print out some of these things and maybe hang them in my office just so that I don't forget. And then hopefully we can start to kind of chip away working on these things as well as the other stuff I have planned and things like Hazel, and balance everything and get it done. So thank you guys once again for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.